One. Bore da, prynhawn da, nwy nos da. Croeso i benod arall o Hurdle the Line. Wait, what?
Ollie would be proud.
Why are you both looking at me like that?
No, I'm saying Ollie would be proud. That
Ugh.
clearly is something in Welsh because of we are carrying
We're,
on with the
we're,
Build-A-Bear franchise.
we are Welsh. We are Welsh heritage now. We are in this. This is what this is for the next couple of weeks. So I thought I'd address in our native tongue. Mrs. Fletch absolutely did not help with that. I knew that off the top of my dome completely. Um, definitely. So, okay, we are going to continue the Build a Franchise mini series we've got today and next week to do it. Before we do that, though, I will introduce our wonderful, wonderful guest for the week. And I will introduce myself as well. My name's Fletch. I am your host, as usual, throughout the off season. Joining me on today's episode, returning from last week, over, if it does work the way I think it's going to, over my right shoulder is Ballers Meg. How are you, Ballers Meg?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And right, this is going to sound really wrong, but right beneath me there is the wonderful Tom Craft. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thanks, Fetch.
Good stuff. Did we have a good weekend? Are we surviving the heat?
Oh yeah,
No.
I had a lovely weekend. It was actually my sister's engagement, so we had the weather was amazing. We had plenty of booze, plenty of food. Lovely weekend.
Lovely.
I'm not surviving the heat. Just pointing out there's your resident Scottish person. I'm not built for this, but here we are
Yeah,
for my
you
final
are
hours.
naturally the furthest one, or grew up furthest from the equator. You are struggling. I am not doing too great. Tom is closest to the equator out of all of us, so you will be naturally more inclined, clearly, to deal with this better. Um, Well, I think the best way to start this episode properly is by saying a massive congratulations to Sister Craft
Thank you.
on her upcoming nuptials. We will enjoy. I can't wait for the wedding. Just waiting for the invite to turn up. Well, I've been waiting a while, I'm guessing. By
Yeah,
the
I'm
by
sorry
that
about
reaction,
that.
yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. It was me thinking I was part of the family now. It's fine. No, but congratulations to your sister and her fiance. Um, sounds like you had a really good weekend. I was stuck in Gateshead for a amateur football tournament internal in Mrs. Fletcher's company. Um, my daughter looks like she spent a week on the Bahamas. I still look like Casper the Ghost has seen a ghost, which is freaking fantastic. Before we go into the main chunk of the episode, we will do.
But before you carry on, Fletch, did you not also get to listen to
I
what do you
did.
call
I
them?
got to listen.
Oasis.
I got to listen through from my windows and through the back garden. I got to listen to the yeah. Did anybody know that Oasis was playing this weekend in Manchester? I didn't think
I
anybody
might
had
have
heard.
had several voice notes.
Um, it kind of yeah that thing happened and nobody really knew about it. It wasn't really mentioned
Hmm,
at all. I'll be there on Saturday in person for it.
nice.
Unfortunately, I've missed seeing Jack Grealish absolutely off his rocker. Missed seeing Pep Guardiola and all that. Um, so now that loss to is it Al Ittihad or whoever it is makes sense from about a week ago in the Club World Cup. Um, no one knew why City lost that game, and now we know that Pep just wanted to get back in time to watch Oasis at Heaton Park.
Figures.
Um,
And
as
whilst you were listening to that, I was stuck driving a truck in a procession that had Grease playing on repeat, but just one song,
which one?
over and over again. Um, uh, I don't know. It's Go Grease Lightning one. I don't know what they're called.
Grease
It's not my
Lightning, yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I think
Um,
it's literally called
Oh,
Grease
good,
Lightning.
good.
do
Yeah.
do
Whilst
you
driving a 3.5 ton truck.
right? Here we go. Before we do move on, do you want to find out a really cool fact about Fletch? Right, from when I was younger, in year six, right, that would be what the fifth grade in states for those listening over that side. My school used to do every year used to do four different like productions and plays. Year 3 did one, year 4 did one, like the Christmas one, year 5 did an Easter, spring one, and then the year 6s did like a leavers one. Every year, the school year 6 one was like a World War II themed. But we had 2 brand new year 6 teachers that year who wanted to shake things up a bit and do musicals. And I was not the lead, but I was in Greece that year. I was Pudsey, the one, with the short blonde curly hair.
Mhm.
If you have seen Grease,
Oh,
and I wore
nice.
a mohawk for it because that's what I put my own edge. Yeah, you can take that smile off your face because I know that one isn't you're actually picturing how that works, and it's not.
I don't think we should have to picture this. I think this should be posted on Her Doodle Line's Instagram account.
Genuinely believe it. We don't have a picture.
I
Like
actually think that is a good idea also, but
no,
I'm
and
sure there is no evidence to show. So
there isn't, unfortunately. In fact, there could
A
be.
likely story.
There could be. I'll have to speak to my mother about it, but um, yeah.
Fletch, I was also in a play as well at school.
What play did you do?
I was Bugsy Malone in Bugsy Malone.
Nice.
I was Nancy and Oliver.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Potiphar's adoring girl in Joseph.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
those
so
were
yeah,
the days.
I used to love it. So that year we did Grease and we did Bugsy Malone. I wasn't in Bugsy Malone, unfortunately, but I would have loved watching. We all got to watch it before but it was brilliant. We also need, if we can get. I'll tell you what. I'll do my best to
I
find
actually
evidence.
do have a photo of
If
me
I
as
can find
Bugsy
evidence, we
Malone.
need. Like, I'm not doing this on my own. There has to be the mutually assured destruction here.
We all
Miss
have to put our money where our mouth is.
If I can find photos, I don't. I'll post them. I'm not bothered.
My favorite one though is like I quite like being in drama and quite being in plays when I was in school. I genuinely enjoyed it. Even started doing them in high school when I went to high school. Um, Me and Mrs. Fletcher were talking about it not long ago. Mrs. Fletcher was once in a Christmas production and she was a Christmas card.
Fair enough.
She looked so proud of herself over there.
Christmas card.
She was
Love that.
I believe she would have been. She was a fantastic Christmas card. I've heard
I'm
it.
sure she was the best
Um,
Christmas card that could be.
I completely agree. I completely agree. However, right, okay, let's get on to actual general football stuff before we get going with the actual episode. Again, we'll do some of that in-house stuff. Right, but if you're on YouTube, you can look over here now because I know you're not actually paying attention. You're just listening in the background. At best, look over here. Look at Tom. If you look at Tom, look just below Tom. There is a description for this video. If you are on the audio only, just go into your app, click on the episode, and there should be a description in there of the episode. Scroll to the bottom because there's just a bit of information at the top about this episode. You will find a load of links. One of them is to join our Discord, which is completely free to join. And we've had a nice little uptake of people this week for our new project that we are working on internally, which we might just drop a little bit of a hint at properly next week on next week's episode. So come and join that. There's loads of football channels, loads of social channels, and various different things that you can get involved in. Within that as well, you can find the AAW Network social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think we're actually on LinkedIn, but the LinkedIn link's not in there, and I don't actually post anything on it and haven't in months. So I wouldn't actually bother with that one. But we are on all the other good ones. You will also find where to follow myself, Meg, and Tom in the links of this episode as well. You should definitely go do 2 of those 3 things and then give me a sympathy one at the end because you feel really nice. Or come and argue with me. I like to do that sometimes. So yeah, follow me for something, but definitely follow my 2 wonderful co-hosts. I don't know. Right, there we go. Nope. Okay, I'm not gonna try and figure this one out. Go and do that, and then okay. So with that out of the way, we'll get on to the news. There's been a bit of news. Feel free to jump in on any of them after the first 2, right? We're not going to do any jumping ins on the first 2. We'll just get these 2 news items out of the way. John Elway's fate is revealed after his agent's tragic death in the golf cart accident. He will not face any charges from that incident, and also Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins was arrested the other day on domestic violence charges. He has been released on bail. That is that. That is it. Okay, on to other news. First up, we have Ndamukong Suh, drafted by the Detroit Lions in 2010, has announced his retirement on the 1 year anniversary of his father's passing. Ndamukong Suh, Hall of Fame bound or not, Tom?
He's right on the cusp, I think. I mean, he's what 2010's all-decade team. On his day, one of the most dominant defense tackles in the league.
Yeah.
So I think he's there and thereabouts for sure.
I would generally agree. I have some issues with him potentially going in there, but if he goes in, I wouldn't have too many qualms about that. It happened. Chargers rookie Trey Harris becomes the first NFL training camp holdout. 30 second-round picks have not signed their contracts. We've just found out why one of them hasn't. Well, some holdups with one of them. Meg, is this a problem? What is it with? Can you think of what it is with second-round picks this year?
I don't know. Is it a coincidence? Is it just I don't know. I really don't. I think that it's interesting. There's obviously we're seeing it across other sports in America right now where they're talking about the power of the contract and the power that balance between clubs, the players, etc. It's interesting. I don't think it's going to be a major issue. I'm kind of, hoping that in the next few weeks it's going to be resolved. But yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Seems to be some sort of stipulation in the actual contract itself, that players seem to be having a problem with because it's about the guaranteed money that they get. And they're not happy with the amount of guaranteed money that they're getting. So until they sort it out, I guess why would they sign?
yeah, it's yeah, very much. Do you think, and this is a really quick sidebar, maybe this can be discussed on Wednesday as well on the college football podcast. Obviously, if you are a first round, especially an early first round pick, you're probably going to get quite a bit of money. Even on your rookie deal, you're probably getting more, definitely getting more than you did at college. But with the new NIL deals and all the money that college players can make, do you think this is going to be a recurring theme where college players or players coming out of college, especially those who won't be earning like the 20, 30 million contracts, could we start seeing these things happen a bit more with players wanting a bit more money or wanting more guaranteed money after they've made a few mil in college?
Yeah, see, I think that will happen, but I don't think it's because of what you're saying. I think it's more to do with the whole NIL thing, the fact that people are getting so much money in college now, they're going to expect that same level of compensation going into the NFL, even going in as a rookie, just because that's what has been established.
Yeah.
So that's what I would expect.
I think you're seeing a lot of players now already hold off for that fourth year because they know, like, if I'm going into the NFL, I could make a couple. Certain players will go, oh, I might make 5 million a year because I'll be an X round pick. Not even that. Maybe I'll make a mil as an X round pick, but actually in college as a star player for X team, I might make 2-3 mil. So may as well stay in college for an extra year and make that extra money beforehand. Speaking of money that players make, or sadly will not see again, Minnesota Vikings linebacker Dallas Turner was allegedly scammed out of $240,000 in a bank fraud scheme. 2,500 of which has been recovered, so only 2,239,000, 38,000, no, 37,500 to go. Let's try and do really quick maths then off the top of my head, then it did not go
I
well.
don't think he's going to get that back.
Um,
I think it might have gone to the Nigerian prince.
oh, I know him. Could have really done with him a few weeks ago. Didn't get back to him, unfortunately. The Miami Dolphins have acquired Darren Waller, who retired a couple of years ago but has returned to the NFL. The Giants have sent Darren Waller in a 7th round pick in return for a 2027 conditional 7th round pick to the Dolphins for a 2026 6th round pick. Did we ever think he was going to come back?
I mean, it just shows how bad the Giants are, to be fair. The fact that he just doesn't want to play for them. But he wanted to specifically go to the Dolphins as well
Yeah.
because one of his main coaches, when he had his best stint in the NFL with the Raiders, is now with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So he gets to work with him again, continue that chemistry, and hopefully he can have a bit of a late career resurgence. But I mean, his music was that bad that he just had to come out of retirement. So
I was about to say, is Miami a rap career thing as well? Is he needs to be going balling around some clubs and getting some street cred? Because I've heard some of that, one of those singles, and my God, man,
that's why he's gone back to his day job.
I feel
yeah.
like I need to listen to some of this
No, you
just
don't.
to experience it.
No,
No?
well, to expect actually to be fair, come back shared trauma. We'll all have it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
it's not great. He made the right decision in career choice, clearly. Um, I would find it funny if that he would rather have been retired than play for the Giants if Rob Gronkowski didn't do the same thing to the Lions like 5 years ago.
Yeah, very
In
true.
that story that circulates all the fucking time. Thank you very much. Yeah. TJ Watt's contract negotiations have held up with the Steelers, and now the Steelers are potentially looking at what they could get in a trade. Tom, I'm going to throw to you first on this one, just because I know that you are particularly close with one of our, a very, very good friend with one of our regular co-hosts, who I know has an opinion on this. I think he has an opinion on everything, but definitely has an opinion on this. What's Ollie been saying?
Yeah, well, he has. It's funny because this is the only time where Steelers fans and Browns fans actually agree on something, and that's what he's been finding in his Twitter mentions. I think he responded with the pull rug gif of look at us, coming together. So yeah, just proving that you know TJ Watt is expendable for the Steelers potentially, because his late season struggles have been documented. And look what's happened to the Steelers. I mean, even with his sack numbers and everything, they'd still get bounced in the first round of the playoffs
Yep.
for the whole time that he's been there as well. And that's not all down to him, but partly is down to that defense as well. So not performing
Yeah.
as the season goes along. And the Steelers have definitely noted that and trying to see what sort of value that they can get from him potentially.
Yeah. Just moving on to the next piece. Meg, I'm going to throw this one straight to you because this pertains your Atlanta Falcons to an extent, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers Tristan Wirfs is set to miss the start of the season after knee surgery. Two-time All-Pro. Not in a like he will miss the start of the season. Good. Not that we'll ever celebrate an injury, by the way, or
Nope.
anything like that. But grateful to see maybe miss out on having to face Tristan Wirfs early on in the season.
I mean, we smoked Tampa Bay both games that we faced them last year anyway, so it's not going to be a great loss for us.
Ooh.
Obviously, we wish him a full speedy recovery because we, like you say, never celebrate an injury. Um, I'm, I'm, yeah, I wish him a speedy recovery. I'm not mad about it. I think that, obviously it benefits us a little bit, but I also don't think it massively has an impact.
No. Honestly, like, that first game of the regular season as well. That's well, I mean, the Lions obviously smoked the Chiefs a couple of years ago when they didn't have Travis Kelce. That happened. You can't call it a one score game, like 1 point game, but like, we smoked them completely, right?
Smoke.
Well, no,
Yeah, I'm
well,
I'm
no,
sure
no,
that
no, no,
was
no. We didn't throw for comment off yourself there, Tom.
no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce. Yeah.
Um, so smoked is what Tom just said there. If you couldn't quite hear it, Tom agreed that we smoked them. Um, but those early season games, they can go anyway no matter what as well, because a lot of teams are still going up. So, um, last couple of little bits, ESPN have announced a multi-year agreement with Mr. safety himself, Dan Orlovsky. He does not know where the end zone ends, but he does know football apparently, and he knows it very well to the point where ESPN want to give him lots of money for it. Do either of you listen to much Dan Orlovsky? And if you do, are you glad that he will stay with ESPN? Anyone?
I think he's knowledgeable, but then I think some of his takes are, a bit mad.
Yes.
But no, I do think, yeah, as a former quarterback, he knows the game and knows how to read the game. Not that he was a particularly good quarterback, but in terms of understanding coverages and what teams are going to do, he is knowledgeable in that aspect. So fair play to him for getting the bag.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Guy went 0-16 as a quarterback. That's embarrassing. Could you imagine supporting a franchise that did that and played the teams that he played for that did that? That's embarrassing. Um, so yeah, Lions smoked the Chiefs a couple of years ago. Moving on. Finally, some not great news. NFLPA leadership has backed director Lloyd Howell Jr. amid reports of collusion and Meg, help me out again. I completely
Conflict of interest.
conflict of interest. That is the one. So, some of you may remember that the NFL have recently announced that they will allow small investment firms to invest in the NFL teams and own minority stakes in them. It just so happens that when that deal was put through, one of the companies that has been approved for this kind of thing, he just so happens to be a part-time consultant for that firm.
Nothing dodgy going on here at all.
Nothing to see here moving on. Is probably what was said in those meetings. I mean, I don't know what can really be said about this.
Hmm.
I'm not
Oh,
sure whether either of you have particularly strong views and opinions on this conflict of interest. If you do, please feel free to take the floor.
I mean, not particularly strong, but I think it doesn't help the NFL image of the whole, conspiracy theories, collusion theories that go on anyway every year that come to the surface. I don't think it's particularly helpful for that kind of reputation. But equally, season starts in what, 7 Sundays now, and nobody's going to be arsed by the time it starts.
Agreed.
A little bit more on it. The NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howard Jr. is working as a paid part-time consultant for the Carlyle Group, one of a select group of league-approved private equity firms now seeking minority ownership in NFL franchises. ESPN has learned. The union lawyer, skipping a bit, the union lawyer asked Howell to consider resigning from the private equity firm to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest if the firm takes an ownership stake in an NFL franchise. A source with knowledge of the information said Howell declined to step away from Carlisle. The source said, and we are talking about Carlisle, the private equity
What I would say is you
firm,
can't have
not
your
the
cake
town
and
in
eat it
northwest
too,
England.
and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We are talking about Carlisle, the private equity firm as well, not Carlisle, the place where that guy was made before joining, born before joining and being made in the Royal Navy. Shout out to anyone who got that one as well listening. That is a world-class advertisement.
that advert, yeah,
You know
literally.
what? Weirdly, one of the kids said to me, "You sound like a Royal Navy advert today," and I can't remember what it was that I said, but it was something to that effect. I was like, "It'll be the making of me," or it was something like that, and they were like, "Are you in the Royal Navy, miss?"
Well, put it this way, can you fix a bike?
That was what I said. I said I can
Then
fix
you
a
could fix
truck.
car.
I said I can fix it. I can drive a truck, so I can do anything. And they said, "Were you born in the UK and made for the Royal Navy?" I was like, "Yes, I was. I did almost join the army recently."
Fair enough. Glad you didn't. Very glad you didn't. Okay, so that's it for news on my part. Do either of you have anything that you would like to throw into the works here?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, lovely. So we'll get on to the to the main chunk, the bread and butter of the episode. No more Welsh for you, by the way. Don't worry about it. Not gonna, unless anyone specifically wants this. But I'm asking for a two-way street here. I'm not doing it if no one's gonna respond in Welsh as well. I'll take that as a no.
I can
Okay,
say poppity ping.
Poppity Pig. Do you know what it means?
Yeah, microwave.
Well done. Any others, by the way? I can bring a couple out. I can bring a couple more to the table here if you want. Learn a little bit.
I think poppity ping has to be our slogan.
Yes, yes. We are the Cardiff, whatever we're gonna call ourselves.
Poppity
Microwave.
ping.
That's our slogan. Microwave. Um,
Because we smoke everyone. I'm so proud of myself right now.
you look it. You look it.
I mean, I don't think you should be smoking things in a microwave, to be fair.
Yeah.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, okay? Don't put metal in there, guys.
Okay. That's a great. Every day's a school day.
Right,
I'll
safety first.
give you one more for free. A goody who is an owl.
There you go.
Both of those are like slang names, colloquial names for him rather than the official name. But like the proper name for a microwave is a microdon. But Poppy Ping sounds so much better. So
Yeah. The
we'll
other
go
one
with
sounds
that.
like a dinosaur.
Yes, yes, it does.
I like
So
dinosaurs.
I clip that. Um, right, okay. Anyway, we're on to welcome to last week. We've had it approved by the National Football League. Roger Goodell has given us the go-ahead. I spoke to him on the phone the other day. He did definitely give us the go-ahead to move forward with this franchise. Initially, at the end next week, we're going to have to bring it to the board at the next league meeting, which is apparently next week now in our own little world, for the NFL to approve it. But we're set for an NFL expansion in Cardiff. We are the firm that have been tasked with putting this together. So I want us to start with a couple of little things. I think the best way to go about this right now is to what's our identity gonna be? How are we gonna how are we gonna build this franchise? What do we want from this franchise? We have to have an idea, we have to have an avenue, we have to have a road to go down when going this, and we all have to be on the same page. I hope we all agree that we all have to be on the same page. So, Meg, I'm going to throw this to you first. Where we need to get ready to go into hiring people. We need to get ready to go into what's our strategy going to be for the first draft. What identity do you think we need to kind of put together as an NFL franchise? Where should we go with it?
Oh, I think firstly, if we're in Cardiff, we want to hit a sense of local pride, first of all. I think any team needs the support of the locals. So we don't want to be like bulldozing any like crazy parks or nature places that's going to get everyone up in arms. No grade A listed buildings, thank you. I think we need to dive into creating a good reputation as an ethical company, team, business, however we want to frame it. I think we need to market ourselves as someone who takes pride in the area we're from and is willing to work with locals to give jobs and things like that, not just bringing in loads of outsiders.
Yeah.
Looking at the great Britball teams that are around about and maybe getting in with some of the coaching staff and things like that. That can bring some local knowledge as well as obviously some ball knowledge to the team. It's about culture, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
creating a really positive culture where everyone feels involved, I think. It's one of the things that the Packers stand out for, isn't it? Is that culture of everyone being involved. And I think, they've got a really good reputation as a fan base who are very passionate because of that identity.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Fletch.
Mm-hmm. Moving on from that horribly wrong and disgusting comment that you made there at the end. You had us at the beginning. Tom, how do you think that translates? How's that going to translate to the front office? How's that going to translate to the field? How's that going to translate? What kind of identity is that going to put us forward as we look to building a roster and a staff? Do
Um,
you think?
I guess, having the front office that prides itself on being honest, being, um, you know, as Meg said, taking pride in where it's from, like taking pride in the fact it's from Cardiff. So maybe have some people in the front office who, are even Welsh, maybe even if they're from another kind of vocation, or even if you,
Yeah.
as you say, people from like Britball or people that are in other leagues, American football leagues, that are Welsh, kind of bring that into the team itself. Um, and we want to be a team that stands out as well. We want to be a team that kind of represents not just, Cardiff, but kind of the UK as well. Like if this, the first UK franchise, so you want to be able to kind of encapsulate all that into the team, the front office. They take pride in that. They want to promote that. And we also want to be, I imagine we want to be a hard-nosed team as well. Like in terms of, play-wise, we want to be a team that people don't want to play against. Um, we want to be a team that, can grind and get the results that we need, but can also be flashy. So kind of a mix between both of those things.
Yeah.
And just bring the ethos of the people that help run the organization onto the field.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this out there, right? The Wales is obviously, as has been mentioned, kind of going the sport of football, like soccer, football. The Welsh national team have been pretty good over the last, well, I don't know about the last couple of years, but I know before that they reached the Euro semi-final. Basically, they had Gareth Bale, and that's that really. The But rugby is the Welsh national sport. Rugby is what they follow. Rugby is kind of the problem that we have with trying to get rugby fans into the NFL. And I'm sure Tom, as a guy who grew up with a massive rugby fan, I didn't grow up with rugby, but I got all the comments of, look, this is rugby for wimps. This is this is rugby, but with pads because they're soft. I don't know if you would get if you got the same growing up, and maybe
Yeah,
maybe you did.
I think that's why I said the kind of the hard nose. Like you have to show that it is a physical game,
Yes.
to show that those fans that are, diehard Welsh rugby fans, because you're right, obviously that is the stipulation that people always make that, rugby is tougher because they're not wearing pads and stuff. But if you can just show that you're going to be a team that, is going to put it all out on the field, um, and showcase that, then maybe some of those fans will, translate it across because they'll be like, this isn't rugby, but it's something different. And we're still physical, we're still
Yeah.
tough, still hard to beat. Um, and we could be exciting at the same time.
Yeah, and this is where I kind of want to get at is like where I'd kind of look. I'd say where I kind of want to start building from, and in terms of the roster building, in terms of where I kind of see and want our coordinators, our head coach, our GM, etc. This is the kind of page I want them to be on. Is hard-nosed football and potentially trying to be a not a full-on punch in the nose, smash mouth football, but along those lines at the very least, because you want to show off that physicality. You want to show off as close to or get as close to the rugby side of football as you can. Yeah, it's got to be. Who's not going to really want to see a 50, 60 yard deep bomb for a touchdown? Those plays are going to be great. But what you want is we want our big O linemen, we want our big D linemen, we want our receivers to be the ones who will go up and grab a ball in coverage. You want the gritty players.
We
And
basically want to be the UK version of the Lions.
Well, someone said it, thankfully. But no, it's you kind of want that. Yeah, I actually, if you want to take on that kind of the same kind of idea that Dan Campbell's gone in with, and Dan Campbell does the whole Detroit is a city that's been beat up and forgotten about, and we're on the way back, and all that. You can
You can
kind of
say the
put
same
that on
about,
Wales.
you know, you can say the same about Wales as well in terms of, you know, as you say, Welsh rugby. I mean, they won their first game in 18 matches, but you know, it's been a pretty torrid time for Welsh rugby fans. So bringing some
Yeah,
positive,
and
something else, like that's exactly what Dan Campbell, you know, said when he, you know, joined the Lions. They're gonna, you know, gonna bite a kneecap, gonna, you know, bring that energy, and that's the same sort
yeah,
of energy that we need to
and
bring to this franchise.
yeah. I mean, okay, and where I'm kind of got again with that is like you can also play the whole Wales arguably the most disrespected country out of the four nations in the UK.
Yeah.
Um, you can, you know, that you get on a daily basis about the country, and they are arguably probably the most disenfranchised out of, and the ones who least feel the most pride in being British and all that sort of thing. You want to bring that whole, no, we're those lone wolves. We're happy to kind of sit here, be on our own, and do our own thing, but also like don't forget about us.
Mm,
Kind of mentality
definitely.
that um that I think a lot of Welsh people treat life with. So I would personally, that's where I kind of want to go from it, and where I see like how it translates to the field is like I want to build trenches first. Um, I'm a believer in building trenches first anyway, but if we want to take on that kind of identity,
I
trenches
agree.
first.
Yeah.
But Meg, like obviously this is going to be a UK franchise, and it's very easy for us two Englishmen to turn around and say, well, this is what the Welsh want and the rest of the UK wants. But obviously, in the spirit of inclusion, we will allow Scotland to have a voice. What would you kind of so would you want? How would you want Scotland to be represented in what will end up being considered the UK's franchise?
I think one of the things that you've got to be really careful with something like this is that, we've just spoken for the last couple of minutes about how we want it to have that Welsh spirit of they feel alone and they feel ostracised and they
Yeah,
feel, not part of the UK or the most disrespected nation in the UK. Um, and one thing you've got to be really careful with there is then that it doesn't make them just a Welsh team.
yes,
Mm,
If you want it to be the UK team, that's where we've got to be really clear on what that identity is, because it would be easy to fall into, well, Wales are going to almost, monopolise this, take it and run with it, which would be absolutely understandable if it's based in Cardiff. Um, but we have to decide, is it a UK team or is it a Wales team? Because you can't have both realistically, without sounding too cynical. As a, you know, someone who's Scottish, before I am British, I would say that us Scots have the same kind of feelings as the Welsh do. A
yeah,
lot of the time, we're the inconvenience above the border, and I don't know. I think it would lead to, certainly, knowing what Scottish politics are like anyway, they would probably want their own team if Wales had their own team.
yeah,
And then you know for a fact that England and Ireland are following suit on that. Um, so I don't know if we can make it a UK team based in Cardiff. I'll be completely honest on that one. Um, Maybe I'm wrong, and feel free, guys, to comment below if you think I'm completely wrong on that one. I just think that we would need to sell it as either a Welsh team or a UK team based in Cardiff.
yeah. And but that's what I'm saying. If we take the whole, this is a UK team based in Cardiff, right? That's it. That's how we're marketing it. There's an understandable say out of you've got the four nations that are part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. You give 40% of that to Wales, and then in terms of kind of the 100% of the identity, 40% goes to Wales, 20 20 20 for the other three. what would you want in there on behalf of? You are speaking on behalf of Scotland right now.
Okay, no pressure.
No pressure. What would you like to see as part of that 20%? Like, how would you like us to take on the Scottish identity if we are to do the whole UK team based in Cardiff, incorporating something from everyone?
Again, and I know that you have feelings about this, but I think maybe go down that Packers route of, the identity of the fans having that say more so than maybe, you know, a corporate vibe. I think that to be equally representative of the UK, then we need a diverse board. We need at all levels of, from, ground staff right through to players to um, management, all of that needs to be diverse and we need to be representative. It's never going to be fully equal because obviously we want the best people for the jobs and not just because they're Scottish or Welsh or English or Irish. Um, but I do think we need to have that diversity amongst all levels that we work at. I also think that maybe looking at, and again, it's maybe down the line something to talk about, would be the idea that Scottish people often feel the fact that everything's held in London or down south. So any big events that happen, anything major, tends to happen, you know, round about London, which is obviously not, I get Cardiff, but still closer down, like a lot further down south for us to travel to. So for UK fans, we've also got to think, Cardiff isn't exactly a centre point in the UK. It's going to take longer to get to. It's going to cost us more to go and support that team. And therefore, why should we support it? Well, here you go. If you live X amount of miles away, maybe you get a subsidised season ticket. Maybe we can look at different things that are going to draw people in from further afield across the UK as well. I might be thinking way too deeply into this, but I'm
I
heavily invested.
I think this would have been excellent last week, when arguing for where the team would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to dip off that for personal reasons.
Yeah,
Things got crazy, so I do apologise for missing that one. And I would have thrown my two pence in there, but I do think that we've settled on an area, we've settled on a location, and so now we have to work around that location regardless.
right. So what I think we could be doing is during the off season, doing something similar to what right now the Bears are doing, or the 49ers are doing, or the Dolphins and whatnot are do. And we are holding in March, we're holding multiple. We're going to Northern Ireland, we're going to Scotland, we're going round England and hosting flag events and going into schools and things like that. And let's face it, it's
Hmm.
not like the US where the marketing is not quite the same. Okay, it's like maybe a 4 or 5 hour drive. Maybe you can hop on a plane for half an hour and get from Cardiff to Edinburgh, Cardiff to Glasgow, Cardiff to Belfast, whatever, right? You can do those we can do those kinds of things, and it's not like you drive 3 hours in the US, you're still in your own state, whereas we drive around, you're in another fucking country.
Yeah.
It's still the same country, but it's a different country. And the accent's changed about 43 times.
Hmm.
And yeah, so we can be doing those things to again make it inclusive. Now, as someone from Manchester, would also turn around and say London gets everything. So I get the point from a Scottish point of view or a Welsh point of view, but like even in the north, the north of England, we sit there like, for Christ's sake, man, give us something, at times. So that's felt, I think, anywhere that isn't London, that is felt anyway. But we've got that now. Translating back to on the field and rather than boardrooms and whatnot, which is great because we have that for the most part. The only representation we don't have is Northern Ireland on this board because we are the board here, Meg. And I'm putting my foot down now. We are following no Green Bay Packers models. That's not happening. Um,
Was this a democracy or have we got like Vladimir
no,
Putin over
Dictatorship.
there?
no, um, no. This
Sure,
never
we have to
was.
vote on things.
When the hell did I put this down as that this is going to be a democracy? This was going to be. I will let you have opinions.
Oh, thank you. Very
Yeah.
gracious. Stop,
You're welcome.
please.
Um, I, I'm not policing your thoughts. I'm policing your actions from them thoughts. Um,
Mm.
but no, I like that idea. Move, but I say I want us to focus a bit more now. Let's get back onto the front office. Let's get back onto the field and how the identity puts forward. And again, any pushback on being one of them trenches first, punch you in the mouth kind of football teams.
They're my favorite kind.
Sounds good.
Great. I want to ask. I wonder if any of you have actually done your homework from the message I put in the Discord the other day. Right? No. Okay, that's great because this is going to make this a really interesting. So we've been tasked with hiring a GM. We need to hire a GM soon, and we need to have initial conversations where we look for and potentially look at people who we may hire as a GM even
Okay.
and a head coach.
Hmm.
Now I don't want us to go as far as coordinators. That's fine.
Okay.
But Tom,
Yes.
have you got any ideas of someone you would look for?
For a GM.
Yes, and again, we want the Brit ball. Do you want to go for the Solent? Um, why can I not remember the name of the top of my head now?
The
Shall we
Solent Vikings.
go? No. No.
And then
Yeah, shall we go with the Oxford Saints offensive coordinator? Deserves a step up. Or would you like to take from the pool of the National Football League that may already be there? No
Um,
disrespect to the Oxford Saints, by the way.
I mean, I think to start off with, we probably do need someone from the NFL just to kind of establish, especially with someone that's a GM, who knows how it works and how everything operates. Having someone with that experience from over in the States would probably be beneficial from that sense, I would say. But
mm,
No, I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
I agree. I think
trying to think
I'm
wait,
putting out there.
yeah.
I would say personally, available for all roles actually, any and all roles. I would say Jason Kelsey's our man. Think how much fun we would have, right? I am just saying. And he is not
Oh,
scared to get stuck in.
oh yeah. I think he would. I think he would be a great ambassador for the team. I don't think he could be a GM though.
Maybe not GM, but definitely, it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun.
He'd bring the energy, and he'd definitely get involved in the local sort of things as well as he's proven with a lot of the stuff that he does wherever he goes.
Yeah,
And he's got a big following, so that would definitely be helpful.
that
But
ethos would be good.
if we're thinking if we're thinking NFL GMs, there's some good ones.
I'm gonna say this with Jason Kelsey, right?
Are we allowed to
Brilliant.
poach the GM from another team? Or like, what are we doing,
I mean,
Fletch?
we can make an offer. We'll just throw names out there for the time being. But I'll say this about
Hmm.
Jason Kelsey, great as that is going to be. Look, Jason Kelsey is lovely. Um, you know for a fact he's gonna say something about Wales and it's gonna be something about Ireland. And he's gonna get something about Wales wrong and he's gonna put his foot in his mouth at some point. And we're
True,
either
true,
gonna do
yeah.
one of the two things where we go, "Oh, Jason Kelsey, you lovable drunk," or the proud nation of Wales are going to go, "How dare you?" In the voice of Peter Kay, in Max and Paddy from so it's going to be it'd be very much fun, but I can very much see him making a statement about the Welsh that has nothing to do with Wales.
Nobody
Uh,
said
Hmm.
we were letting him make statements. Calm down.
you tell a Jason Kelsey after 10 days to not make statements.
What I would say, maybe then,
I
Jason
would say
Kelsey's our social coordinator.
right. Okay, I was gonna say you take care of Jason. You would.
That's fine. I will look after him
You would
every
manage
day.
him. You would manage him.
I would manage Jason Kelsey easily.
Yeah.
Tom, did you see any? Have you got any potential GM candidates that you would like to interview or request an interview with?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of good ones in the NFL, but like a lot of them aren't going to leave the teams that they're at. So realistically. maybe someone like, huh?
I
Were you
coughed.
gonna say? Were you gonna say Brad Hopes?
No, I coughed. I just coughed.
You just coughed.
It's just a cough.
Because it's not going to be like Harry Roseman's not going to leave the Eagles, right? Like that would be unrealistic, right? For us to
No,
just, I mean, we could ask to interview, but like he's not just going to up sticks.
I don't.
Um,
I don't think so. Um, don't think so.
What do we need? Do we need to be that like realistic here? Do we are we looking at people who will
Fletch.
as the thought police resident here?
What was that? Sorry.
Are we asking people who we would just approach, or are we going as deep as saying, well, would they leave the team? Would they not leave the team? Like, or are we just
Let's
making a list of people that we would
let's
like?
let's just. I mean, well, let's treat this like a proper like how one a meeting like this would go. Right? You've got
Okay.
your execs in the club, in the team. Um, we're all sat here as executives in this team. Let's throw some names out there. We can come up with a list of a few names, and then we can send the emails out and just be like, fancy a chat over Zoom sometime.
Okay, I've
Okay.
got I've got two.
Go on,
Eric DaCosta from the Baltimore Ravens,
right?
and Jason Light from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What
No,
is Mr. Raven's role?
I mean, as a GM,
Oh, right, okay, okay,
as in like request to interview at least.
okay.
um, I'm just gonna put a veto on Jerry Jones.
Oh yeah, 100%
Just
agreed.
Damn
throwing that one out
it!
there.
Right, hang on. Throw that
No
one out.
chance. No chance Jerry Jones is getting involved with this.
Mm-mm. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm just looking at current GMs right now.
Is it
See
because
if
of the
any.
conflict of interest thing that he'd have with the Cowboys? Because he'd still kind of be owner of him. Is that it? Is that just the reason?
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't want any collusion in our league. Thank you.
See, I thought so. I knew it wasn't for footballing reasons.
Um. Hmm.
And for footballing reasons, he's been a terrible GM anyway.
Well, well,
They haven't won a
fair,
Super Bowl in
fair.
30 years, so
Yes.
I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
there's that.
they haven't
The,
even
Li-
been to an NFC Championship in 27
the
years.
Lions have gone 0-16 and made an NFC Championship for the Dallas Cowboys. It's always a fun fact that I like seeing. Um,
I'm going to throw out a couple of names only because I like how they sound. Okay.
always
First
a
of all,
great way to do business.
hey, look, it's got me this far in life. Okay. Brandon Bean.
Oh yeah, I did think about him for the Bills, yeah.
I do think he's an excellent GM anyway, but also great name. And John Schneider, because what a name.
But he's not a good GM though.
No,
Good
he's
name,
crap, but we
not a
could
good
maybe be the
GM.
making of him. Just listen to the Welsh people pronouncing that name. I'm here for it.
Oh, Alonso Schneider. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, it's fine.
See? Brilliant.
I'm going to throw some names that will generally come around in GM candidate roles. Tariq Ahmed, Director of Player Personnel at the 49ers. Although they've had a couple of problems, with the player contracts and that kind of thing over the last couple of years. But overall, I think 49ers as a whole have been pretty good for the last few years. And then there was one other one. Where did he go? Uh, oh crap! I've lost him.
I just thought of someone as well. He was actually an English coach, but he's been in the NFL for like a long time.
Aiden Durd. Aiden
Yes,
Durd.
that's the one I
Aiden
was
Durd.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Like I say,
Aiden Durd.
but
Yeah,
we'll get onto coaches in a second.
yeah, yeah.
Or no, I'm not going to go with him. Nope, definitely not going in with him either. I've lost the guy I wanted. That was it. John Eric Sullivan, Vice President of Player Personnel at the Green Bay Packers.
Thought we weren't having any
Yeah.
Packers stuff in here.
Again, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. But unfortunately, you've all demanded for a democracy, so let's do it. We'll incorporate some Packers things. So it's fine. We'll take. He's a At the end of the day, he's very, very good at his job. The Packers are always a well-stocked roster.
Very true.
Yep.
And how often do you truly hear, other than the Aaron Rodgers debacle for a couple of years, and that's because he's a massive whiny baby. Like, how often do you hear of actual issues with player contracts? So was it Jair Alexander had a little bit of a
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's more because of who Jair Alexander is as opposed
yeah,
to the Packers more
exactly.
than
I
anything.
don't,
So
and then
Agreed.
so he's a very, very good at his job, and you take someone who's very good at his job away from the Packers. So I mean, it's a double edged job, really. I think we can do that. Um,
I see what you did there.
yeah. Listen, not a pretty face. Um, moving. Okay, we've got a few GM candidates there. We're gonna throw some of those names out there. Now moving on to head coaching, who we might look at for head coaching. Now, Tom, I want us to start on that fantastic idea that you've just thrown out there, because what better way to get the public involved over here than to hire someone like that who would naturally be taking that next step anyway. The Seahawks have a fantastic defense. And when they had the changes last year, the defense didn't get worse. The offense got a lot worse. The defense did not get worse. In fact, the defense, I believe, even statistically and everything, got a lot better.
improved, yeah,
Improved
definitely.
under Aiden Derd. So get Mr. Aiden Derd himself, he's an Emma, to lead the franchise going forward. I think marketing wise,
I
but
think that's
also
a great
footballing
move.
wise, it's a fantastic move.
I agree.
Yep. I'm also going to just throw out just Phoebe Schechter. Just throw it out. As I feel the only female representative on the panel. She's currently, doing her coaching internship. Obviously started off at Lions Women's, and I think that she would bring a strong standpoint from the fact that we are different. We're not based in the US. She would be worth talking to, at least as a coordinator position, if not
I
head
would say
coach.
I'd take,
I wouldn't
especially.
maybe put her at head coach start straight away, but
No, I was gonna say I probably wouldn't go straight out of coaching qualification to head coach in the NFL.
no, no. But
But she
there
could
were
be like head of player personnel or something like that. Like she could have a definitely have a senior role, especially because she knows like UK landscape very well.
and you look at that'd be great. Director of like UK scouting and things like that would be a
Yeah,
fantastic
yeah.
position. If you're talking front office for her, if you're talking on field and talking actual coaching, then look, this is just one of those. This is what you have to do if you get into the NFL as a coach. You start off as an offensive or defensive analyst, and then
yeah,
you go from there. And I'd have no problem. I love Phoebe Shetzer, that she's brilliant. Um, and the fact that she didn't like American football when she came to the UK. Everyone saw she had an American accent and said, right, you can go play American football because you've got an American accent. And it all started for her in Manchester. Personally,
yeah.
I very, very happy with that. But yeah, I'd love to get her involved. Just unfortunately, just I don't want to throw her in as a coordinator or anything quite yet.
Fair enough.
Are there any other like some coordinators that you see? Who would be in next year's coaching cycle? Might take us a couple of years to get this franchise off the ground, like it does for an NFL franchise. It takes a couple of years to get off the ground. Um, anyone that you else you see coming up as a coordinator? Go out there, Kelvin Shepherd. Um,
But yeah,
well, but if he can improve on the Lions' defense, that'd be a good name to watch.
Let's. I'm
Um,
thinking of.
you know
Let's
what?
bring Sean Payton back. Let's bring him back this way.
Um, I was gonna. Who's I saying? I was about to say, oh, they were the Commanders' offense was fantastic last season. Let's bring the Commanders' offensive coordinator, and then realise no, you tried that before. Um, that's a project that's been done before. We don't want to do that again. Thank you very very much. Um, not bringing him back as an NFL head coach.
Who's the offensive coordinator for the Rams? Because
Ooh,
obviously Sean McVay is the head coach, but I've forgotten who the offensive coordinator is.
Mike LaFleur.
Oh yeah, Matt LaFleur's brother, and he's got a lot of experience as well. So I'd
Mm.
put him in the ringer,
Yeah,
put him
agree.
in because he's been around the block.
Yeah, full list.
I would donate some Falcons coordinators if you want them.
Drive
You can
them to
have
the
them for free,
airport.
actually. They're not getting a say. I'm just deporting them. Um, you can have them for free. Not Raheem Morris. I'd give him another year.
Um,
Excuse me.
Who's the one for the also I know he would probably wouldn't move, but the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos would be a great shout because the Broncos are a great defense. It's
Yep.
what's his name? It's like uh it's
hang on,
thingy Ezra or something.
hang on. I'll get him. Vance Joseph.
Oh, is it? Who am
He's
I thinking of? Yeah, no, but Vance Joseph's a very good coach as well. Is
um
there someone like Ezra? Oh, I forgot what his name is. But I do think that those are good, two good candidates. Mike LaFleur, Vance Joseph.
um. Obviously, also say we've got Aiden Durd in there as well.
Yeah,
Um.
definitely.
Look, I think again, Aiden Durd sounds like a match made in heaven, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
Agree.
who says he wants to come up? Like, who says he wants to be that guy? I mean,
Mm.
some people don't want to be that guy because you'll always just be known as well. No matter how he does, he's just do incredible, but he's still just the first head coach of a UK franchise. Um,
But it's also, if he's the first head coach of a UK franchise that is then instrumental in turning that franchise into a winning program,
oh yeah,
then that is an amazing thing to add onto your coaching resume.
oh yeah, and I think right, okay. How do I word this right? So, do you remember a few years ago when they were looking to cast the first Doctor Who, but they were looking to cast like a black Doctor Who before they got the cutie
Yes.
cat one? They approached a few people, and I can't remember who it was, but they turned the role down and said no because no one will care what I do. I'll just simply be known as the first Black Doctor, the Black Doctor Who. And I don't
Mm.
want to be known as that. If I was second or third, then they'd care about my performance because
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
um,
You don't want to be typecast.
it's not exactly the same thing, and I don't want to kind of equate the same thing. Obviously, for various reasons, it's not. But there is a similarity in that, in the sense that like some people, it sounds great on paper. Like you can be the first this, you can do this, and it sounds like a match made in heaven, but that
Forever you
doesn't
will just be the
necessarily mean,
first, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
or you will go down as like the whole, oh well, you only got the job because
Yeah.
you were the British coordinator. The thing, it's not because you were good at your job. You end up running into those, but also like, what if he likes it in America and doesn't want to come home? Um, what if he what if someone else comes in and says, actually, no, he is genuinely a good coordinator and we want to give him a job? And it's, I don't know, the Dallas Cowboys will probably need another head coach in a couple of years. So here's a couple extra mil to take on our franchise. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a guarantee that Eden Durd will want to come through, as
Yeah.
great as it'd be. So it's always good to have a couple of extra options anyway.
We've
Um,
also got to think that as a new team, we don't know how it's going to be received and how, well respected, I guess might be the word for want of a better one, we're going to be. So how many people want to put their reputation on a team that nobody really realistically knows how it's going to do.
Yeah.
Very true.
But equally, you could then turn around and say, well, I've got an easy out here because I was tasked with the whole putting a whole entire franchise together for the first
True.
time. You can't hold
True.
that against me when we went 1
Yep.
and
1 in
16 or
16. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like
100%. Yeah,
um
I do hear that.
and listen, three random British people put this whole franchise together. None of them actually knew what they were doing. It's not fair. Um, so you might always be able to have that as an excuse.
Yeah. True. True. True.
Um, and
We might
again,
have to offer 1 year contracts to start off with, is what I'm saying.
yeah, I'm not sure who's going to take on the 6 year projects, or what we are going to have to do is this consortium who've put together this franchise. We're just going to have to be understanding,
mm,
and we're going to have to say after 3 years, as like we do the 3 year rule, as long as there is somewhat improvement, as long as we're starting to see the vision come together.
yeah, as long as we're on like an upward curve, like we're not just
Yeah.
plateauing or we're not just staying the exact same,
Or
we're
getting
making
Yeah,
worse.
some sort of improvement incrementally,
Yeah.
if
then
if we don't become the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
Yeah.
basically,
Perennially
yeah.
terrible, apart from
Mm,
that 1 year where they did that thing that time, a couple of years ago. They're perennially terrible, and they're
mm.
one of the two newest franchises in the entire NFL. They've not been good in the at all in their entire franchise history, really.
Other than what, 2016?
Um, yeah, but like it's one of those. So, um, I'm gonna any other names want to be put out there before we start to wrap this up?
Um, no, I think that's a good amount of names, to be honest. I think we've kind of
We've got a lot of
exhausted.
interviews to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Lastly, I do completely agree, and I want to throw this out there that we are going to continuously make sure that we are scouting across Britball for coaches and whatnot,
Mm,
and trying to get
100%.
people in, even if it's in those internship roles to start off with and get them in an NFL franchise and get that experience for them.
Definitely.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so I'm happy with where we're at. We're going to be a smash mouth team. We're going to be making sure that, we're hiring based on that, but also proud of the heritage that we're creating. Proud of the heritage that we're kind of following in from with the old NFL Europe, um, and moving in with that. Right. Okay. So, final question of the week. I know we kind of mentioned it before, but it's been brand new news this week. Nobody's ever heard of it, but there has been a slightly large concert that's taken place this week in Manchester. Whilst at the same time, Kendrick Lamar, by the way, has been killing it across the whole UK.
Mm,
Absolutely incredible. 72,500 people on Friday night crammed into Heaton Park in Manchester. 72,500 people crammed in the day after at Heaton Park in Manchester. It will happen again on Wednesday. It will happen again on Saturday, plus me. I will be there too. And then on Sunday again, 72,500 people will be getting together to watch Oasis. Again, Kendrick Lamar also killing it across the UK. Now, with such monumental gigs taking place, and it's festival season and all that sort of stuff, I've got to ask you if you could have one dream Super Bowl halftime performance, because it does somehow link, with who would it be?
Foo
it,
Fighters.
it already happened.
Pick a new one. A dream B.
Mine would be the Foo Fighters. 100%.
Foo
Dave
Fighters,
Grohl.
yeah, Foo Fighters is a great shout.
By the way,
Who?
that same one that you're thinking of is mine, and I have to also think of a second one.
It's tough to think of another one, really.
Are you guys talking about Janet Jackson again?
Yes. Oh wait, no, no. Well, I was thinking about Katy Perry.
Ah, okay.
Which, by the way, was a fun. I don't care. I like that one. I like Katy Perry. But
I'm trying to think who would. I really can't think of one to look because the one that I would have thought of is the one that it literally already happened. So,
yeah,
um, you said Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is a great shout. That definitely would have been my pick otherwise.
I could. I mean, I do. I have a. I have one of them is like I don't know. I have that really boomer pick, the proper baby boomer pick of like Metallica. Let's get Metallica or
Mm,
AC/DC in. I've kind of done it already, but Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'd love to see the Chili's in there.
yeah, that would be good.
Luke Combs would be amazing.
Um,
Who's like I'm trying to think of someone that would be big enough to like do it who hasn't done it. Like maybe I mean this would be big because you've got massive following. Um but like if there was because you had the Kendrick one. What if you had off the back of that, then you had the Drake one because then had the Drake Kendrick beef. That's where
Ooh.
you might have to that would be hot.
Jay-Z and Rock Nation just wanting to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if you go off global popularity right now, you've got
It'd be
pick
Taylor
it
Swift, wouldn't it, right?
Taylor Swift, but I don't know if Taylor Swift would do something like the Super Bowl
Hmm.
halftime show.
She would.
You're thinking Sabrina
I'm speaking on
Carpenter,
behalf. Oh.
Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish. Overdue. Are we overdue a female artist as well to do the halftime show? Um,
Oh God. I really hope it's not. Jenny's going to kill me for this, but I really hope it's not Sabrina Carpenter.
Mad overrated.
I want to say I don't know if the NFL is ready for her performances.
No, I would
So
agree.
probably is it Billie Eilish? You've got to talk huge at the moment. I got
Hmm.
globe. I genuinely, and I don't care. Give me hate for it. Yeah, here's the reason that people are going to end up finding me on Twitter and going into link about. Give me Ariana Grande. Fantastic, and I don't care what anyone says. I will scrap anyone.
Catch me outside.
I'm so down. That lady has one of the like vocals are incredible.
She is great. To be fair, I watched her in Wicked recently, and I thought she was amazing. I'll give you
Um,
that.
but if I'm gonna put down, I'm gonna do my kind of boomer pick. I'm gonna say, give me the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I respect it.
And I'm just gonna say, just for the popularity of the Drake thing, that's literally what it is.
Tom also wants
Because
to just watch the world burn.
Yep.
yeah, also because
Chose
you know
violence this morning
both
when he
both
woke
the
up.
ones that we would have picked flex has already happened. So it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's the dream one's gone. It's already happened.
but we got to experience it, so that's the main thing.
Meg, what's your? Is it Luke Col Are you going with Luke Combs as your final one or
No, I'm going with Foo Fighters because Dave
Foo
Grohl
Fighters?
is
Okay, Foo
supreme in
Fighters.
all levels.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Um. Right. Okay then. So I think that leaves me without further ado to say why the hell is there we go. Um. Thank you both of you for joining me on this fine Monday evening. Join us next week for the Builder Franchise Workshop Part 3, where we'll be choosing the team's moniker, maybe putting together a bit of a colour scheme, getting all artsy fartsy next week, and a few other things where we finalise it before sending the official proposal off to the 32 owners that are currently involved in the National Football League. What we heard, anyone want to throw out we heard all this week? What we heard, Lynn?
How does that franchise? I don't know.
Hurdle their identity.
Hurdle
Yeah,
the identity. Okay.
I like that.
Um, fantastic. Right. See you next week.
Bye.